I wanted to jump on quickly and talk to you about just 6 elements of a healthy relationship. I want to talk about today is communication. So if communication is the source of understanding and resolving conflicts, then how you communicate internally or how you even communicate externally to yourself is also the source of resolving conflicts and understanding. So what are you saying to yourself? And just imagine if we took pause and realized that how we relate to ourselves directly impacts how we relate to other people. Are you talking to yourself in this crazy derogatory manner? Are you a whole bunch of superlatives in even the language that you speak to yourself? What you're doing is you're setting a precedent that is okay. If you talk to you like that, what's the expectation or the personal boundary that you have that you won't allow other people to talk to you like that? I do want to employ you on today and challenge you on today to take a look at how you communicate to yourself. Is it in a loving and supportive manner? Or is it in a derogatory, judgmental posture? Would you be in a relationship with you if you talk to you the way you talk to you? I hope you caught it.
Moral of the story is healthy relationships with yourself starts with how you communicate with yourself. Examine how you speak to yourself. What does that self-talk look like? Is it negative? Is it derogatory? Is it judgmental? Is it tearing you down? Because if that's the case, that's where we gotta start. Stop talking to yourself crazy. Start speaking to yourself with love and compassion and kindness. And this is point number 2. Point number 2 has to do with trust. We're talking about healthy relationships and how to foster healthy relationships, but more importantly, how to foster that healthy relationship with yourself. In this video, we're going to talk about trusting in healthy relationships with yourself. Do you really trust yourself? Do you trust that you are reliable? Do you trust that you are able to withstand your own integrity as it pertains to your own needs and your desires? Because if you are unwilling to be committed to yourself and trust yourself and have trust in yourself, trust in your needs, trust in your ability to be able to communicate those, and trust that you are in tune enough with yourself that you are able to even share that self with someone else. So we always talk about healthy relationships as they compare to us engaging with other people, but do you even trust yourself? Point number 3 that I wanted to talk to you about today has to do with respect. Respect as it pertains in healthy relationships. But of course, I'm going to throw it back on you. Are you respecting yourself? What does your self-respect look like? Frame it a little bit for you. So, respect as it pertains to relationship with others means that we are valuing each other, we're hearing each other out, that I am actually respecting your thoughts and your feelings, that I am holding space for your thoughts and feelings. That doesn't necessarily mean that I agree, but it is the acknowledgement that I value this external person enough to hold space for what they're thinking and what they're feeling, and the intent is to understand. Respect also speaks to boundaries, the boundaries that other people have set for themselves, even the boundaries that we have set for ourselves. So I haven't got to self yet. I'm just kind of giving you the frame of mind on how we think about what respect is, and recognizing that respect for others in relationships create this harmonious balance because both parties are feeling valued. So, beloved, as it pertains to you and your self-love and your self-care journey, how are you respecting yourself? Do you have healthy boundaries in place that are not necessarily designed to keep people out, but these healthy boundaries that create a structure on how you treat you and how you allow other people to treat you? These boundaries, I like to describe them as a baseline of determining who can be in your energy and who does not qualify. Not everybody qualifies to be around you, and it is okay. It is okay. We get frustrated and irritated and annoyed and drained when we find ourselves in connections and situations where our needs are not being valued, and that's a lack of self-respect. So as you talk about respecting yourself, I want to give you some ideas and some framework to take a look at. Are you valuing your thoughts and your feelings? Do you hold space even for your own thoughts and feelings? Are you dismissing them? Are you just like, oh, no, I can't deal with that today, or that doesn't even make sense, or, no one cares about any of that? You care. Because if you didn't care, it wouldn't have come up for you. It wouldn't have come up as a concern for you. It wouldn't pull at your heartstrings. Respecting yourself means respecting your feelings and your emotions, even when they don't make sense to you. Take time to sort them out, because respecting yourself means that I'm going to honor myself in whatever it is that I'm thinking and feeling until I have a greater understanding of what I'm needing in that moment. So are you respecting yourself enough? Let me know in the comments. Next point, as it pertains to this self-evaluation of this healthy relationship that you have with yourself. And I think that we might be at number 4. Number 1 was communication. Number 2 was trust. Number 3 was respect. And number 4 is going to be emotional intimacy. Emotional intimacy is ideally the closeness that one feels with being able to, one, honor their thoughts and feelings and feel as though that they can share them in an environment that is safe and supportive. If you aren't creating this environment for yourself, then what are you even doing? What are you even doing trying to connect to someone else? Do you even know how to create an emotional safe space for yourself? I'm going to help you with that. Emotionally safe spaces are spaces that are absent of fear and absent of judgment. Judgment-free and fear-free zones. When you strip away these limitations that you put on yourself, you'll find that you will fall in love with yourself all over again. And that's what this self-love journey is all about. The emotional intimacy that you share with yourself is going to be absolutely unmatched, because it is the basis. It is the baseline of who you are presenting to other people. And when you do seek that person, when you tap into that emotional, sensitive place of yourself, the protectiveness that turns on is not necessarily a toxic protectiveness of, oh, I have to keep this person protected and I have to isolate, but you become a little bit more protective in who you expose that person to, because now you set a standard of emotional safety. And that emotional safety means that I and my emotions are so important to me, and maintaining the safety of those emotions will not allow me to be in circumstances or situations with certain people or environments that compromise that emotional safety. That ability to feel safe to express my thoughts, or the ability to be safe in expressing my feelings, or just ideally creating a safe space for myself to be able to feel and process those thoughts and feelings for myself. So I now gave you both worlds, but I wanted to give you examples of how you compare this emotional intimacy. We often talk about emotional intimacy as it pertains to our connections external. So I wanted to use that to give you a comparison of how you build this emotional intimacy with yourself. If you find that you need more help with this, please reach out to a professional therapist, a counselor, a coach, someone that's going to be able to support you, someone that is unbiased and able to listen attentively to be able to help you pinpoint some of those challenges that you're having a challenge navigating by yourself. I wish you well. Stuck with me this far, we've talked about self-care and self-love advocacy as it pertains to how we communicate with ourselves, how we are trusting ourselves, how we are respecting ourselves, how we grow to this place of having emotional intimacy. I don't want to get too much about the physical intimacy, because you guys know how to pleasure yourself, and I promise you that's not the purpose of this video. I know you saying, but Tyra, what you talking about? Because physical intimacy, we about to take another turn. But I don't want to lend itself to sexual intimacy. But physical intimacy with yourself is where some people get mixed up in the guidelines of self-care and the bubble baths and the hair appointments and the different grooming things. All of this is physical intimacy. It's not sexual intimacy, but how you care for your earthly vessel does speak to how much you value it. Are you exercising this vessel? Are you feeding it not only nourishing foods, but are you feeding it nourishing whatever it is that you're trying to nourish? Whether it is your intellect, are you feeding it things that is going to flourish your intellect? Are you feeding your natural body different things that's going to help you flourish? Physical intimacy can look like exercise. It can look like yoga. It can look like just an absolute hug. Yoga, mindfulness practices, some of your physical intimacy can even be you sitting still and being quiet with yourself. How many times do we want to be with our partner and we don't have anything to say? We just want to be in their presence. That is a practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness will teach you how to be present with yourself, that you can honor all parts of yourself, even the parts that you don't think are all that great. This is what I'm calling falling in love with yourself all over again. And the last one that I want to give you within this emotional healthy relationships with yourself series is loving yourself enough to ask for help. You don't have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. But ideally, I really believe that that's why we're all here. Some of the things that we are wonderful at doing, thrive. Share those things with the world, but be open to also receive. And for many of us, we have challenges with receiving because we tie our receiving to worthiness. You are worthy. You are worthy just because you woke up. You are worthy just because you asked for help. You are worthy because the divine gave you the vision of what your life would be like. And if the vision is unclear and you haven't quite figured it out yet, then spend some time with yourself, because as you spend time with yourself, you'll recognize everything that I need is on the inside of me. And sometimes I just need support to help me sort it out. Support to be able to purge those things that I no longer need, and also the support and the feedback from people who genuinely care about me. Even feedback from myself as I sit through self-evaluation to say, hey, you are on the right path. So I know that I gave you a lot of different points. If a lot of this doesn't make sense to you, check out my other videos. They're all within the feed. All of them speak to healthy relationships. All of these points are points that you can use as you develop healthy relationships with others. I just hope that you spend some time learning how to build a healthy relationship with yourself. Be well, and I wish you well. Take care.